looking back, it's really no wonder that Spain's colonial empire did so well, so much better than those of its rivals, because they got a head start for reasons rooted in European history. I mean, look, the founding of St. Augustine, Florida, this European colony in what we now call North America. That was on September 8th back in 1565. It is way ahead of the French, Champlain founding Quebec City in 1608, decades ahead of the British creating that ludicrous ramshackle settlement at Jamestown that eventually was the beginning of Virginia and the South and those 13 colonies. So yeah, Spain got this big head start. They also got the best land, didn't they? I mean, they got the warm stuff, they got the Spice Islands, they got that mountain of silver in South America. I mean, how could anybody compete with that? What a splendid question. I'm glad I asked that. Because the weird thing about the Spanish settlement in Florida is that it didn't prosper. Nothing of the sort. Eventually, it was bagged by the British at the end of the 7 Years' War and divided into East and West Florida. And at that point, in 1763, the total population European descended in Florida was only about 4,000. Whereas the British colonies that would eventually become the United States were already well north of 1.5 million and growing fast. Why the difference? Simple. Liberty. In the British colonies, by and large, people were free of petty restrictions. They were free of the overbearing government supervising what they were doing and trying to control what they were doing, trying to make the enterprise essentially an extension of the state instead of a vital living community. And the same point can be made, and I'm making it now, about New France, which was only a year behind Jamestown, but which never prospered in anything like the same way. They struggled to attract hundreds or even thousands of settlers, whereas British North America was attracting them by the tens of thousands and the hundreds of thousands. Again, you see this at the time of the American Revolution. New France looks good on a map, but it has very few inhabitants. And that's actually true of the entire Spanish Empire. Again, you look at the globe and there's this huge expanse, often colored red. But if you drill down, what you find is very small European settlements dominated by government employees. Whereas, again, you look to what were basically the leftovers, this cold, rocky stuff like New England, and you see vibrant communities of people making a new life for themselves. And that is why the fact that the Spanish were way ahead, getting to North America with a settlement that did persist and survive to this day in 1565, still left them eating the British dust, because that dust was raised by hordes of people rushing to a place where they could be free. And that was only true of Florida, and Florida only prospered once it was taken over and made part of the Anglosphere, as happened in 1819. So now I'm not going to say they never look back. Of course they do. They've got a tourist trade that deals heavily in that quaint Spanish past. But the only reason that St. Augustine and Florida are what they are today is because that heritage is so far in the past that all it is a historical tourist attraction. It's freedom that makes societies prosper in North America and around the world.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.